So we have this question, express 12,000 in standard form. Now before we take this question, there's something I would like to teach you. Now say if I have a number, let's say 15. Now 15 is a whole number. Another way to write 15 would be 15.0. Now we have it like in a decimal. So 15 is the same thing as 15.0. 37 is the same thing as 37.0. 123 is the same thing as 123.0. I hope you understand. Now let's take this question. So we have express 12,000 in standard form. So we'll be having 12,000. Now you can see 12,000 has 3 zeros. So 12,000 is the same thing as 12 times 1,000. Now this is the same thing as 12.0 times 1,000. Do you understand? Because 12 is the same thing as 12.0. Now in the previous video I told you that standard form is usually written in the format a times 10 raised to power n, where a is between 1 and 9.999. I hope you can still remember. Now 12.0 is bigger than 9.999. So what we are going to do is that we are going to move the decimal point to the left once. And because we move the decimal point to the left once, we are going to add 0 to 1,000. Does that make sense? So we are going to be having 1.20 times 1, 1, 2, 3. Then we add another 0 to make it 4. Does that make sense? So we are going to be having 1.2 times 10 raised to power. How many zeros do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4 times 10 raised to power 4. And this is our answer. Now you can see that 1.2 is between 1 and 9.999. Let's take another question. So we have express 23500 in standard form. So we have 23500. We want to express it in standard form. Now 23500 has 2 zeros, so we'll be having 235 times 100. I hope you understand. And this is the same thing as 235.0 times 100. Does this make sense? Now 235.0, remember our a must be between 1 and 9.999, and 235.0 is bigger than 9.999. So we move the decimal point to the left one time. So we are going to be having 23.50 times, now because we move the decimal point to the left once, we add another 0 to 100. So we'll be having 1000. Does this make sense? Now we have 23.5, 23.5. Now 23.5 is still bigger than 9.999. So we move the decimal point to the left another time. Does this make sense? And by moving it to the left, remember we have to add another 0. So we'll be having 2.350 times 1, 1, 2, 3. We add another 0, 4. Do you understand? Now in this case, 2.35 is between 1 and 9.999. Does that make sense? So we are going to be having 2.35 times, how many zeros do we have? 4 zeros. 10 raised to power 4. And this is our answer. So we have this question, express 18970 in standard form. So we have 18970. Now this number has just 1 0, so we'll be having 1897 times 10. And this is the same thing as 1897.0 times 10. I hope you understand. Now 1897 is greater than 9.999. So we have to move the decimal point to the left once. And by doing that, we have to add another 0. So we'll be having 189.70 times 10. We add another 0, so we have 100. Now 189.7 is still greater than 9.999. So we move the decimal point to the left another time, and then we add another 0. So we'll be having 18.970 times 100. We add another 0. Does this make sense? Now 18.970 is still greater than 9.999. So we move the decimal point to the left one more time. And this will give us 1.8970 times, we add another 0 to 1000. So we'll be having 10,000. Now 1.897 is between 1 and 9.999. So we stop here. So we'll be having 1.897 times 10 raised to power. How many zeros do we have? We have 4 zeros. So 10 raised to the power 4.